Test, test. 1, 2, test. Hey, what's up, guys? It's Matthew. Today, we're going to talk about failure and mistakes, which is pretty poignant because I just recorded this intro like 3 times without my mic on. So, in the spirit of this episode, we're just going to go with it 100%. Just like we're going to go with the voice memo that I recorded as the show notes for this episode. Instead of doing a polished voiceover, I'm just going to play the voice notes. They're perfect. So yeah, failure. Why it's not necessarily a bad thing. This is The Art of Warlick. Okay, so this is a test. I'm talking about failure. I wanted to, start off with all the things I failed at, up to and including making this video and recording this voiceover. I might re-record this in the car later in a one take and keeping all the mistakes and see how that goes. Anyway, so when talking about failure, I want to talk about this job that I got and then lost 4 days later. And I want to talk about how there were some red flags during the interview process. The owner of the company, a very small boutique agency in Dallas, threw up some red flags during the interview process. She talked very badly about her team. She was a little bit manic, which when you're also manic is kind of easy to spot. But talking bad about her team wasn't good. She badmouthed one of her designers in particular, and I'm wondering why is she on staff if you're going to badmouth her to me? But that's the joys of being a contractor. It's one of the reasons I don't work full time for companies, is because it kind of insulates you from the office politics of what goes on. And as someone who has a little bit of the social anxiety, I find that it's better to just deal with work and business and not have to deal with office politics and hierarchies and, strange personalities. It's also one of the reasons why I work almost exclusively off-site and from my apartment, because I can be productive without being interrupted and I don't have to deal with large personalities or ego-driven owners. So, red flags galore. I even told my recruiter that I saw some red flags. I interviewed on a Thursday, and they offered me the position Thursday afternoon. I was supposed to start Tuesday because I had another gig to finish up. So Friday morning comes, and they start sending me work, and not in a nice way. Very terse, very very quick messages. They're using Slack, and they're firing off stuff 1,000 miles a minute, and I'm thinking, I'm not even supposed to start till Tuesday. This is actually when I emailed my recruiter, or when I talked to my recruiter about it, because I was just like, hey, I'm not even started yet, and I'm already getting some red flags, just FYI. So I wrapped up my work that weekend so that I could actually start Monday a day earlier. So I get up Monday, start diving in, downloading assets, catching up on Slack channels, getting into what I need to be working on, and I start designing what I need to design. And the day goes okay. Not a big deal. Pretty boring corporate design stuff, publications, nothing too fancy, nothing that'll go in a portfolio, but it's money. So 7 o'clock rolls around, and I get a message on Slack from the designer, the full-timer, who she badmouthed, saying, hey, are you deleting Dropbox files? And I'm thinking, no, I'm trying to sync 150,000 Dropbox files because your boss wanted me to sync with your entire folder, but no, I haven't deleted anything. What's going on? She was like, well, something's going on. The files are getting deleted. We gotta figure it out. Please stop syncing. So I did. I had stopped syncing earlier that day. I turned it off at noon because it was crunching my system. So I hadn't even been dialed into Dropbox since noon. Then the owner messages me, and she was not nice. There was lots of what the fuck and what the fuck are you doing and what the fuck have you done and fuck you, and I'm thinking, oh boy, what's going on? So she's convinced at this point that I'm I guess, purposely deleting her Dropbox files, and I still honestly don't know what's going on. I've synced. I let my folder sync overnight on Thursday, and I still didn't grab everything. So I'm still downloading files. I'm not deleting files. So I guess she gets on the phone with Dropbox support, and Dropbox support says, yeah, this user, Matthew, which is me, deleted some files. But we can get them back for you, no big deal. So they restore the files. And I legitimately don't know if or how I deleted those files. I don't know if my sync messed up. I don't know if I moved a folder somewhere and just didn't catch it. I don't know. I make mistakes, but I don't know what mistake I made. Which, goes to the topic of this talk, which is mistakes and failures. So, I wake up the next morning on Tuesday, the day I'm supposed to actually start the gig, and there's nothing in my inbox. And as soon as I get on Slack, the owner messages me immediately. She's like, hey, can you send us your InDesign files? And I'm like, yeah, I can send you my InDesign files. I can see where this is going. So, they're gonna let me go at this point. So I package up all my files and I send them over. And I kind of joke with the other designer about, I think I'm gonna get shit canned. Sorry, I don't know what happened, but I apologize. Obviously I made some kind of mistake. So and then my Slack access gets cut off and I'm kicked out. So they didn't even have the decency to tell me that they were letting me go, or to say, hey, whatever. Just, nope, gone, you're cut, sorry. So I waited till the end of the day and I messaged my recruiter, or I called him actually. I was like, yeah, so they kicked me out of Slack. They removed me from the Dropbox folders. I'm pretty sure this gig is over. And that was a couple weeks ago. I still haven't heard from them. And you know what? Honestly, I dodged a bullet on that one. It's one of those times where I think failure turned into success. Those red flags stuck out so badly. Like, I knew it was going to end badly. I just didn't know how. And honestly, I'm kind of glad. That I made whatever mistake I did, that I moved whatever folder. Because, it let her true colors come out very quickly. And I don't want to work for people like that. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody fucks up. As long as there's not a malicious intent behind it, I think it's best to just let people learn from those mistakes and move on. And at first I was really worried because this was going to be a full-time, hourly, gig for several months, hopefully, which in the world of freelance, that's your bread and butter. You get one of those for a couple months and that'll finance half your year. And funny enough, as soon as it fell through and I spent a couple of days panicking and scrambling, old clients I know have asked for more work. I've gotten a couple commissions for artwork pieces. I got some stuff in the works. I just talked to the same recruiter right before I recorded this audio about another gig that's going to start here in a couple weeks, which will be very similar, working on a publication. So failure's not necessarily a bad thing. Making mistakes, you don't want to make mistakes on purpose, but they happen. And, as long as you're willing to learn from them and kind of give people the benefit of the doubt that you would want in those situations where you fuck up and make a mistake, I think you're golden. I think that's an important trait to have just in life and in art and in business and in design. It's okay to fuck up. Just learn from it. I think I've rambled enough. I'm going to get tacos, guys. Take it easy. Oh, and in case I use this raw audio for the voiceover, like, subscribe, share, all that dumb YouTube stuff. Can't make this stuff without you. I appreciate every view and hope you learned something. Peace, guys.